So thank you, Srihari, for sparing the time for this interview. Thank you so much. Um,
Uh, Thank you. Uh,
Okay. So Srihari, firstly, heartiest of congratulations. You have just returned from a very successful campaign at Asian Age Championship, where
Yeah,
India itself had a very successful campaign, and you on a very personal level
yeah.
also had a very you created firstly a national record, and then you won like four golds and one silver. So how was the experience in participating in the tournament, and how is now has the feeling of a very successful campaign settled in?
It was a good start to the year. It was my first tournament, so it was um, definitely important to start out with a good performance. I didn't really know what to expect going into the season.
Okay.
It was my first tournament. I had just slowly started getting back into training. I had an idea of what things could be like, but it's always different at the meet and then what you expect from training.
Mm.
So, um, I mean, I was training well and I had an idea of what to expect, but I think I did swim a lot better than I expected in some of my races.
Mm. Okay. So from present going to your past, I want to know how you got into swimming at first place, and what prompted you to become a swimmer.
I mean, I was 2.5 when I started swimming. My brother used to swim and my mom used to take me to the pool. Even
Okay.
before I was 2.5, even like since I was actually born, I've been around the pool. So I've been around the pool pretty much my whole life. So at 2.5,
Mm.
they just decided to make me start, and that's how it started.
Mm. Okay. So in one of your interviews, you have said that anyone can swim. It doesn't matter that you're born with those qualities of being a swimmer. So could you elaborate on that? And
I mean, swimming as its own is just a life skill. It's
okay.
important for everyone to know how to swim, and everyone can learn how to swim.
Mm.
But it does take a certain set of skills, and
Mm.
it does take some level of training and effort, and you
Mm.
know uh, planning and certain
Mm.
various factors to actually be competitive at a high elite level. So
Mm.
there's a difference between knowing how to swim and competing. So
Mm. So when did you first realize that yes, you have those qualities, and going ahead, you want to become a professional swimmer? When was that moment?
I mean, I won the national championships, individual national championship in
Okay.
2011, and I
Mm.
broke a national record for that category. So I
Mm.
think ever since then, I knew I
Mm.
can swim. And I
Mm.
think in 2016, when I won my first senior medal, then I
Mm.
realized, okay, I'm
Mm.
already up there with the best Indian
Mm.
swimmers, and
Mm.
I'm still only 15 years old, and there's a lot
Mm.
left.
Mm. Okay. So 3 years ago, you were one of India's only three swimmers who had qualified for the Tokyo Olympics. So how was the feeling
Yeah.
when you qualified for the Olympics, and what were your learnings from your maiden Olympic Games, and how was the experience of being in the Olympic village and rubbing shoulders with some of India's great, some of the world's great
Yeah.
in
So,
across the sports? So how was the experience?
I mean, the whole thing was a bit of a roller coaster, the qualification process. I qualified on the very last day possible, and we still wasn't sure. Weren't sure whether it would be considered because I'd done my race as a trial, and that whole day was pretty much a blur. The best I remember is finishing the race. I don't remember much about the race. I don't remember much about the lead up to the race. I remember probably the night of the race where we all just the entire team just went out for dinner around into the St. Trave fountain in uh, Rome. Then went out for dinner, and oh wait, that was the next day. Actually, we went out for we went out to another. Yeah, see, like all of it's a bit of a blur. I know we went out for dinner, and I
Okay.
know I came back quite late to the room, but
Mhm.
that's pretty much all I remember from that day. I don't remember much.
Mhm.
I remember everyone
Mhm.
showing up after the race to where I had the bag.
Mhm.
where I kept my bag to meet me, like the entire
mm,
team.
mm,
And yeah, that's pretty much. I think I went shopping right after I finished the race. So that's like
mm.
the only thing I remember from that entire day.
Okay. So,
And then
uh, uh,
it was the whole
mm,
experience, the Olympics. It
mm,
was the first time I've been to multiple games before, but it's the
mm,
first time the
mm,
Indian contingent actually
mm,
spent time for me that the way we did.
mm,
And I spent a lot of time with the badminton team and the table tennis team, and
mm,
getting getting to me spend time with Sharad and Satyan and
mm,
Sindhu and I Satvik, Chirag. So
mm,
all of that was a whole new
mm,
experience for me, and it was really nice as to how they were so welcoming. I mean,
mm,
we were the youngsters of the team and the newcomers, but they were so welcoming about us, and
mm,
they were curious about how our process was. We were curious about their
mm,
process, and it was just a whole new experience. And then again,
mm.
getting to meet some of the athletes I met in the village was surreal.
Hmm. Okay, but I read just leading into just before the Olympics, you had a really tough time when you lost your father. So how was that period like, and how you coped up with it? So it was a big loss naturally, but what kept you in the right space, and how you dealt with this personal setback? How was that difficult phase
Yeah,
like?
I mean, I was in a national camp, and I had to go back home. I went back home, man. But the best thing I did was, and what my coach suggested, my family suggested was, I got back into the pool and swam just once a day for a
Mm,
while, for a
mm,
week or so or two,
mm,
just to stay occupied. And then I got back to
mm,
the camp after all the uh,
mm,
process, the rituals,
mm,
and I think that just kept me
mm,
going and kept me a little
mm,
distracted, you can say.
mm,
And yeah, I just went with the flow of things.
mm,
And I think just being around the
mm,
swimmers that I know for so long and the team did help a
mm.
lot.
Mm. Okay, so talking about family, it makes me recall what I just read about you, that you come from a family where your relatives have played a lot of cricket. Your cousins, your
Yeah,
uncles have. So just tell us about that. So they have. It is mentioned that they have been part of multiple Ranji trophies going on. So
yeah,
they have been part of successful Ranji Trophy
yeah,
campaigns. So who are these relatives of yours, and you also play cricket in your free
yes,
time?
yeah. So I actually come from a family of only cricket. Everyone only play cricket. Three of my
Okay.
uncles played Ranji. One of my cousin was a two-time Ranji winner with Dravid and Kumble and Srinath and all of
Oh.
them in late 90s. And he
Mm-hmm.
was part of the India A team. And
Mm-hmm.
so cricket was something my dad played for university as well. So cricket was something that's I can say in the blood, and
Okay.
I do enjoy playing it a lot, and
Mm.
I still play whenever I can. And I feel it's something I'm actually not. I wouldn't say I'm good at. I'm not bad at it,
Okay.
but yeah, I can play a decent game. So yeah, I have plenty of amazing stories about some of my relatives about what they've done in the cricket field. So
Mm.
it's a sport that's close to me, and I
Okay.
enjoy it a lot.
So, wha- coming from a kind of a sporting background, sporting family was, and as you said, cricket is in your kind of your blood. Your father also used to play at university level. So, was there ever a plan B or a plan A of becoming a cricketer?
I don't think so. I think they put me in
Okay.
the water too early, and
Okay.
after a point where I realized I spent so much time in the water, I realized that okay, now I invested this much time, I need to see it through.
Okay.
And yeah, this feels natural to me as well. So
Mm. Okay. So, you have also participated in last 2 years. You have also been part of Commonwealth Games and Asian Games. So, on a personal level, as a swimmer, what have been your learnings out from those results, from those outcomes, and what do you seek to improve in your swimming so that you
I
become
mean,
a better swimmer?
a good athlete, generally always is on a
Mm,
learning curve,
mm,
and has picks up things from everywhere they can and every race they swim or game they
mm,
play. So throughout the year, I've been trying to shape myself into becoming a better and more complete athlete.
mm,
and being an overall better swimmer. And I think that's the
mm,
most noticeable thing about me as a swimmer in the past 4 5 years, about how I've matured as a swimmer. Like going into my first Asian Games and Commonwealth Games, and to my last one last year, I've just
mm,
become a much more mature swimmer,
mm,
and I have a better understanding of the sport, better understanding of how things work in the
mm,
sport, and how I'm
mm,
supposed to approach it.
mm,
Better approach to training, better
mm,
temperament, and various factors just help me be a more complete swimmer.
mm. Okay. So, I also read that last year after the national games, you took a break from swimming uh, for like 6 weeks or so. That's quite a long time because you have frequently quoted that you swim 8 to 9 times in a week. In a week, we have
Yeah.
7 days, and still you manage to squeeze in 8 to 9 swimming sessions. But still, you went
Yeah.
away for 6 weeks. You took a deliberate break, and you were kind of feeling jaded and tired. So why was that, and how did it
I had a long
this?
season. I actually had the long 3 years. I
Hmm,
did take a break in 22 as well for about a month.
okay.
But yeah, I just had a long season and my body
Hmm,
was at its limit and I needed to, just give it time to recover and mentally just let
hmm,
myself relax and not think about competing and just let
hmm,
it be, stay away from the sport because going into this season, it's again another long 6 months and then a very important 6 months. So I had to be fresh and I had to be,
hmm,
ready to be in the
hmm.
zone for this season. So I couldn't go into the new season with any fatigue or frustration or anything that you want to call it.
Okay, so what was the feeling when you hit the pool after that 6 week break? So you had a renewed.
And I was like, why? I was like, why? I didn't know. I didn't really have any feel of the water. I did not
Hmm,
really have any balance. I felt weird, and I was like, why? Just why?
okay.
I was asking. I was
Hmm,
I was asking myself, why did I take a break that long? But I was also asking myself, why did I come back so early already? Because it was just
okay.
feeling so weird. But it was fun. It was good that I got the break. I played a lot of cricket,
Hmm, okay.
and yeah, so it was nice. So I came back and
Hmm,
took about a couple of weeks to get back to training, and then since Jan, training's been good.
hmm. Okay, so what does your training routine on a normal day looks like, and ahead of a very busy season, how do you prepare yourself?
First swim about 2 hours in the morning from 7 to 9.
Mm,
I'm in the pool by 6:45, 6:50. And then
mm,
I have breakfast and I'm in the gym by 10:30, 10:15, and I'm there till about 12, 12:30. Have my lunch, sleep, and then I'm back in the pool by 5:30. And I get home by 8, 8:15, have dinner, chill for a bit, and then sleep by 10:30 maybe.
mm, mm. Okay, and do you start practicing aggressively as the competitions?
No,
Uh,
it's a whole season that uh,
mm,
brings out the result. So it's all well planned out and things don't change just because there's a tournament coming up or things don't go easy because there's no tournament coming up.
mm. Okay, so sports is as much about an athlete's physical thing as much as it is about their mental space. So, what is your approach to being in a good mental space, and how do you take care of your mental health? Because that's very important.
Um, I've generally been in a good headspace most of the time.
Mhm,
I let my training speak for itself, and my confidence
mhm,
comes from my training. And other than that, I spend a lot of time doing things that I like. Like listen to a lot of music. I watch a lot of movies. I play other sports when I can. I enjoy food. So because of this, I think I'm quite balanced in my head. So I've never really been, you know, anxious or nervous or frustrated or anything like that leading up to a meet. And it's been quite easy to control that part of my performance.
Okay, so what India is now producing good swimmers. Like I recently had a conversation with Mana as well. You are also making mark at international level, but it is still a lot of ground needs to be covered. You have said that we are still few years behind with other top countries to catch up where India can start. winning medals at international level. So, from your experiences at international level in interacting with other top swimmers, what can India do to become a better sporting nation as far as swimming is concerned? And what
I
needs to
mean,
be done?
I think it's just the way things are managed and the way athletes are uh,
Mm,
developed, the way athletes are managed.
mm,
For example, just having a whole season put down together, planned, and not trying to burn them out at the age of 14 or 15. Ensuring they have a target in mind and you train towards target and not just try to go, having a good experience of racing under you throughout the year.
mm,
Good training base, working on having a good technique base from a young age. All of
mm,
this is stuff that has to start at the grassroots level because if you don't have it at the grassroots level, you will not survive at 22, 23. You will
mm,
break down and you will be injured. And, also things like, I, just having, like incentives and,
mm,
cash prizes and things like that
mm,
has to develop. Like for me, that's been a big challenge because I don't receive any uh,
mm,
uh, cash prizes. The national games we haven't been paid uh,
mm,
as well as the other states have. I haven't
mm,
received any money for the national games from 2023, and I was the best
mm.
athlete and the highest medal winner. And
Yeah.
2022, I was had the highest medal winners, but I got just a medal
Mm,
for I got money only for 1 lakh or one
mm,
medal compared
mm,
to other states where they're
mm,
paying for every medal, and Karnataka
mm,
doesn't pay for any of them.
mm,
So that just gets a little
mm,
tough on us because at the end of the day, yeah, it's all good about passion and love
mm,
for the sport and everything. But at the point, it does become a profession at the age
mm,
of 23, 24, like how
mm.
I am.
Yeah.
And if I'm
Yeah.
not going to be paid equally compared to other athletes when I've done
Mm,
much more of a job than they
mm,
have, then it just isn't fair, and we just don't want to
mm,
do it anymore. And
mm,
even things like even now the Asian age group, I haven't heard anything about
mm,
receiving any cash prizes or anything. But I have a teammate who's from Tamil Nadu, and
mm,
they've already called him and told him to go and meet the sports minister, and
mm,
I think he's already got the check
mm,
directly, and it's been not even been 4 days since the meet was over, but we haven't
mm,
received anything, any
mm,
information or any call regarding
mm,
from our Karnataka association or
mm, mm,
the government. So that just becomes a little tough. And again, the meets that are conducted in India just needs to be conducted at a better level. We need to allow international athletes to come into
mm,
India and participate because it's not easy for everyone to always travel abroad to compete.
mm,
It is
mm,
an expense, it is a task. But if we
mm,
do have more meets split together throughout the year, split
mm,
out throughout the year, and have
mm,
athletes from other countries show up here, then the our youngsters get uh,
mm,
an exposure to what elite racing is, and that just makes the whole dynamics of Indian swimming better.
mm. Okay. So you have also said that swimming becomes expensive at one stage.
Yeah,
So, but from the outside, people don't realize that there a lot of investment goes into becoming a good swimmer, and it becomes
yeah.
expensive. So, because people just feel you just need to have the access to pool and you can practice, and that's it, and you can polish your skills. So, what makes swimming an expensive sport? What is that
I
expensive
mean, it
part of
just
becoming a professional swimmer?
so there's the whole thing about the fees, and
Mm,
then there's the support staff with the SNC and the nutritionist. Some
mm,
people might need a psychologist,
mm,
physio. So
mm,
that's just the basics. Then
mm,
there's the equipment. So we have training equipment, we have racing equipment,
mm,
and all of that is quite pricey. And then the travel. If I want to swim, say 8, 9 meets a year, I need about 20 lakhs with me just to cover those 8, 9 meets a year. And then because most of my meets are international, so
mm,
I need at least 20 lakhs to cover that. And then there's a whole thing about biomechanics and sports science and nutrition, and it's quite expensive. There's a lot of factors that aren't noticed and aren't utilized by Indian swimmers, and it is changing. And the access
mm,
uh, access to most of these professionals or equipment or and things like that are increasing. but the funding is a major drawback in the country for a lot of athletes. I've been fortunate to be funded by Tops for the past 4 5 years and by Go Sports.
Mm.
So because of that, my funding has been pretty much taken care of for a while. But that was for the past 4 5 years. But for 17 years of my career, my parents had to bear the expenses. So that's not an easy task. It's probably as actually it's probably more expensive than a like a medical seat in one of the best colleges in
Yeah,
India, or
yeah.
even going to the US and studying in one of the universities. So
Mm,
that's how expensive swimming gets. So
mm,
it's tough for to maintain that for a lot of years. So that's where the funding and the scholarships need to start. And
mm,
no, it needs to start at a much younger level, and they need to be you know given access to the right professionals at the right age, so that they aren't broken down and they are managed properly,
mm.
which is where we need the right experts.
Okay. So finally, this Olympics are fast approaching. So how are your preparations for Olympic qualifiers, and what do you feel you need to polish in your game so that you crack for a second successive Olympic? So what are your preparations? What plans do you have?
It's going good. I'm going to race a few times for the next few months. I'm going to train for now and just keep it simple.
Mm. Okay, so thank you, Srihari, for
Thank you.
sparing the time out. Hope you qualify for yet another Olympics,
Thank you.
and more, and India keep churning out more uh, champion swimmers, and so that overall the quality of Indian swimming goes up. And hoping to see you at Paris, and hoping to see you
Thank you.
swim at Paris Olympics. Have a great day, and thank you so much for,
You too.
and all the
Yeah.
best for the rest of the season, rest of the year. Bye.
Thank you.